Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. George Santayana once said, "Welcome to MagmaStorm. Today, we bring you the chilling tales of the 8 most ruthless dictators and rulers in ancient history. From Genghis Khan's relentless dominion to Nero's tyrannical reign, we're journeying through the perilous annals of the past." Number 8. Genghis Khan. We journey to the austere, windswept steppes of Mongolia, where a boy named Temujin emerged from obscurity to become Genghis Khan, the universal ruler. Through cunning and force, he united the Mongol tribes, creating an empire that would cast a long shadow over history. Genghis Khan's reign from 1206 to 1227 was a tempest of conquest, marked by a series of military campaigns that left devastation in their wake. Cities fell, populations were decimated, and tales of mountains of skulls and rivers of blood echoed across continents. His invasions are believed to have resulted in the deaths of up to 40 million people. His tactics were as chilling as they were effective, mixing psychological warfare with ruthless brutality. He often spared a few survivors, allowing them to spread tales of his terrifying power, compelling many cities to surrender without a fight. Despite the savagery, Genghis Khan was a harbinger of order within his empire. He introduced a legal code, promoted trade, and created a writing system still partially in use today. The tale of Genghis Khan, the boy from the Mongolian steppes who built an empire with his will, serves as a stark testament to the terrifying potential of unchecked power. Number 7. Julius Caesar. We now move from the icy steppes of Mongolia to the beating heart of civilization, to Rome, and the life of a man who would reshape the course of history, Julius Caesar. Born into an ancient but politically insignificant patrician family, Caesar rose through the ranks of the Roman political system, displaying an aptitude for military strategy and a burning ambition that would eventually lead him to the pinnacle of Roman power. During his reign, Caesar expanded the Roman Empire dramatically, engaging in a series of military campaigns known as Caesar's Gallic Wars. Here, we encounter a terrifying facet of Caesar's rule. These wars were brutal, marked by devastating sieges, wholesale slaughters, and mass enslavements. It's estimated that the wars resulted in around 1 million deaths and another million captured as slaves. Such was the scale of these conquests that a question arises: was Caesar a hero, a champion of the Roman people, or was he a dictator and a tyrant, consumed by ambition? While Caesar's military campaign left a trail of blood across Europe, back in Rome, he was enacting social and political reforms, becoming a champion of the people. He implemented policies to relieve debt, reformed the Roman calendar, which is still in use in a modified form as the Gregorian calendar, and undertook construction projects to employ Rome's jobless. Yet, the very ambition that propelled Caesar to power was also his downfall. His appointment as Dictator Perpetuo, dictator in perpetuity, caused alarm among the Roman senators. His reign culminated in a conspiracy against him, leading to his brutal assassination on the Ides of March. Number 6. Attila the Hun. Leaving the cobblestone streets of Rome, we venture further into the annals of history, to the windswept plains of Central Asia. Here we meet a figure who would become known as the Scourge of God, Attila the Hun. Attila, born into the royal family of the Huns, a nomadic people, became one of the most feared enemies of the Western and Eastern Roman empires. He ruled from 434 until his death in 453, alongside his brother Bleda, until he took sole control. Attila's reign was soaked in blood. With his vast cavalry, he invaded and plundered territories expanding from what is now Germany all the way to the Baltic Sea. Towns that fell to Attila's forces were often completely destroyed. Those who were not slain were taken as slaves. It's said his warriors didn't even leave animals alive. They ripped the very heart out of civilizations, leaving nothing but ashes and terror in their wake. One story tells us that Attila was so ruthless that when the Holy Roman Emperor Theodosius had a treaty with him and didn't pay up, Attila attacked and plundered cities in the Eastern Roman Empire. The empire had to scramble and give him annual payments of gold just to keep him at bay. But behind this reign of terror, there was a man known for his modesty within his own court. It's told that Attila the Hun, the man who could dine from a table of gold, chose instead a simple wooden plate. He lived not with the opulence his victories could afford, but with the Spartan frugality of his nomadic heritage. Attila the Hun, a fearsome warrior and a cunning leader, was a storm that swept through the 5th century. His reign of terror reshaped the map of Europe, marking the end of the late classical period and heralding the dawn of the Dark Ages. His tale is a testament to the devastating impacts one man can have on the course of history. Number 5. Pharaoh Akanatan. We now travel from the harsh plains of Central Asia to the sun-kissed sands of ancient Egypt, a land of pyramids and pharaohs, a cradle of civilization. Here we find ourselves in the reign of a pharaoh who was unlike any other, Akhenaten. Originally known as Amenhotep IV, Akhenaten ascended to the throne in 1353 BC. His reign would become one of the most controversial in Egyptian history. Breaking from thousands of years of tradition, Akhenaten declared that there was but one god, the sun god Aten, and he abandoned the worship of other deities. He even moved the capital from Thebes to a new city, Akhenaten, or Horizon of Aten, in honor of his god. But his religious revolution had a darker side. Temples of other gods were closed, their rituals forbidden. Priests lost their positions of power and influence, and in some cases, images of the old gods were even defaced. These measures bred resentment and fear, creating a state of religious oppression that stifled the once flourishing spiritual culture of Egypt. Yet, in this period of turmoil, Akhenaten and his queen Nefertiti were also patrons of the arts, and their reign marked a departure from conventional Egyptian art styles. The king himself was depicted in a strikingly different, almost androgynous manner, a far cry from the traditionally idealized pharaoh figures. Akhenaten's reign, marked by both radical reform and repression, was short-lived. After his death, his new religion was abandoned, and his name was stricken from the Egyptian records, his monuments defaced, and his city of Akhenaten abandoned. The young pharaoh Tutankhamun, likely his son, restored the old gods and moved the capital back to Thebes. The story of Akhenaten, the heretic pharaoh, serves as a potent reminder of the dual nature of power. It can inspire progress and change, but can also suppress and instill fear. But what happens when fear is wielded as a weapon of control? We shall explore this question as we journey to our next destination, the reign of Vlad the Impaler. Number 4. Vlad the Impaler. From the golden legacy of ancient Egypt, we journey into the shadowy realms of Wallachia, the domain of a ruler infamous for his reign of terror, Vlad III, or as he is hauntingly known, Vlad the Impaler. Born into the 15th century turbulence of Wallachia, now part of modern Romania, Vlad the Impaler is a figure drenched in both horror and fascination. His title, the Impaler, was not an idle threat, but a chilling declaration of his preferred method of execution. He took a morbid pleasure in impaling his enemies on long, sharp stakes, leaving them to meet their end in agonizing slow motion. Vlad's rule was a symphony of fear. Torture, mutilation, and mass murder were the notes he played to keep his subjects in line. His most feared act of terror was the Night of the Long Knives, where he slaughtered hundreds of Wallachian nobles to solidify his power in one blood-drenched night. Though his atrocities paint a picture of unrestrained cruelty, Vlad was in a complex weave of history, seen as a champion by his people. His defiance against the mighty Ottoman Empire and his commitment to protect his lands won him a place of honor in the hearts of his subjects. In an ironic twist of fate, the chilling legacy of Vlad the Impaler gave life to Bram Stoker's Dracula, forever binding this ruthless ruler to the immortal legend of literature's most infamous vampire. The tale of Vlad the Impaler stands as a stark lesson in the dual nature of power, capable of igniting both fear and respect in the hearts of the people. And now, as we continue our journey through the treacherous terrain of history, make sure to subscribe to MagmaStorm. It's safer than a stake through the heart, guaranteed. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. We're eager to hear your perspective on these rulers who have shaped our world in the most terrifying ways. Number 3. Qin Shi Huang. Imagine a 13-year-old boy ascending the throne of Qin, destined to become the first emperor of a unified China, Qin Shi Huang. Under his rule, unprecedented standardization took place, from the Chinese script to weights, measures, and even cart tracks. But the shiny coin of progress had a flip side. Free thought was stifled, books were set aflame, and intellectuals buried alive in a chilling purge to silence dissent. This was Qin Shi Huang's iron-fisted rule. His obsession with immortality birthed the Terracotta Army, life-sized warriors meant to protect him beyond death. Yet, this awe-inspiring legacy was carved from the suffering of countless laborers. Despite the tyrannical reign, Qin Shi Huang's impact on China is undeniable. He initiated the construction of the Great Wall, showcasing both his vision and a ruthless disregard for human lives. Qin Shi Huang's tale is a stark lesson in history's dual nature, illustrating how the path to progress can sometimes be a trail of tyranny. Number 2. Ivan the Terrible. From the ancient lands of China, our journey through the darker chapters of history takes us to the cold, forbidding landscapes of Russia. Here, we encounter a ruler whose very name chills the blood. Ivan IV, better known as Ivan the Terrible. The first Tsar of all Russia, Ivan ascended to the throne as a young boy of just 3. When he took control as an adult, his reign began promisingly. He introduced laws to reduce the power of the nobility, expanded Russian territories, and even encouraged art and literature. But as the years passed, Ivan's rule took a sinister turn. Paranoia took root, turning the progressive ruler into a tyrant. His infamous secret police, the Oprichniki, roamed the land, spreading fear and executing anyone Ivan viewed as a threat. His most shocking act of brutality, however, was against his own city, Novgorod. Convinced they were plotting against him, Ivan ordered the massacre of its inhabitants. Men, women, and children were tortured and killed, their homes razed to the ground. Historians believe thousands perished in this wave of terror. A fascinating yet tragic aspect of Ivan's life was his complex personality. He was known to have bouts of severe illness, and his mood swung from deep depression to violent rage. In one of his fits of uncontrollable anger, he even killed his own son. Ivan the Terrible, the ruler who began his reign with promise, descended into a cycle of paranoia and violence that left a bloody stain on the pages of Russian history. His story is a stark reminder that power, when corrupted by fear and distrust, can lead to terrible consequences. Number 1. Caligula. We now return to Rome for our final and perhaps most infamous ruler. We're stepping into the bloody reign of Gaius Caesar, or as he's ominously known, Caligula. Caligula, whose nickname means Little Boots, ascended to power in 37 AD. His rule initially seemed promising, but it soon spiraled into a reign of terror that would mark one of Rome's darkest chapters. Caligula's descent into tyranny was swift and ruthless. He squandered Rome's wealth on lavish spectacles, conducted absurd and arbitrary executions, and it is said he declared war on Neptune, the god of the sea, ordering his soldiers to collect seashells as spoils of war. His reign was a nightmare for both the Senate and the people of Rome. Senators were humiliated, forced to run for miles in front of his chariot. The general populace lived in constant fear, as Caligula was known to roam the streets in disguise, randomly killing or maiming people. One of the most bizarre anecdotes of Caligula's reign was his love for his horse, Incitatus. He treated the animal with utmost respect, giving it a marble stable, an ivory manger, and even considering to appoint it as a consul, a high political office. Caligula's reign of terror, however, was short-lived. After only 4 years as emperor, his brutal and erratic rule led to his assassination, bringing an end to a reign marked by madness, terror, and cruelty. Thank you for joining us on this chilling voyage into the past. Don't forget to subscribe to MagmaStorm, share your thoughts in the comments, and stay tuned for more tales from the annals of history.